Hey guys, I missed you. Go ahead and get a pencil and get your books. We are going to read together. Hopefully this works out. So yeah, let's get going. Chapter 23. I couldn't wait to tell Matias the news. We had made a difference. The 7 Cs got through okay. It must have changed its route or something. Since most of lunchtime had been wasted on the air raid warning, I had to wait until after class to find Matias. Luckily, I didn't have to search long. I spotted him standing right outside the school's courtyard. Did you hear? I called out, taking the steps two at a time. The 7 Cs? I know. He gave me what looked like a painful smile. But, but nothing. We did it, I said, twirling around. Yes, but he glanced back, taking note of who was there with us. This, that's this morning's news, he said. Come on. He turned away from me. Let's walk and talk. I want us to stop there and think about why Matias is reacting this way. Do you think he truly is happy about them stopping the 7 Cs? Let's find out. It didn't take a genius to realize that whatever we had to say, it wasn't good. Did something happen to the ship? I asked. No. Matias looked around at the other students walking by. So what's going on? I asked, stopping at the corner. Keep walking, Matias said over his shoulder. What's the hurry? Why aren't you celebrating? Matias didn't break his stride, and I had to hustle to catch up to him. Why? Matias lifted up his hand as we passed by the bank. I'll tell you in a minute. Didn't say a word for another block. Matias, no one else is here. What happened? He looked both ways and behind us to make sure we were alone. There's a spy in the group. Yeah, they're all spies. That's the point. No, he interrupted. You don't understand. There's a spy for Franco in the group. A double agent. What? How do you know? So what does this mean that he's a double agent? Whoever in the group is, in their little group of people, what does it mean that he's a double agent? Think about that. Father told me the reason he was gone yesterday, he got some information. Matias paused as a middle-aged woman passed by and went into one of the neighboring apartment buildings. When he was sure she was gone and the street was clear again, Matias continued. He verified that someone has been reporting the Franco. Wait, so who's the double agent? I whispered. Matias shrugged. Father wouldn't tell me, but I think we might know. My eyes widened. Señor Goicochea? Didn't you say he was strange? I slowly nodded. But I didn't think he... So now what happens? Matias took off his beret and twisted it in his hands. That's the worst part. He ran his fingers through his hair. That action right there lets me know that he's hesitating. He's nervous. He doesn't want to talk to her. He's running his finger through his hair because whatever he has to say is not going to be good. Mother says we're not safe here anymore. We've been compromised. And, hold on, your mother knows about all the spy business? I asked. Yeah, Matias put his beret back on and guided me toward an empty bench in the plaza. Within minutes, the place would probably come alive with people strolling and socializing, but for the moment, it was relatively quiet. He leaned closer to me. Seems she always knew. Father just didn't want her to know that I'd gotten involved too. She wasn't happy about that. Hold on a second, Santi. Huh. I thought about my visit with her. She didn't seem like a spy's wife. Then again, that was probably a good thing. Anyway, she says it's time for us to move. Move? I exclaimed. Then, looking around, I dropped my voice. Move? I repeated. Where? Again, let's stop. Let's think about Annie here. And let's think about why she's very worried that he's leaving. Matias shrugged and leaned back. They were talking about it when I left. Maybe Madrid, but who knows? I think they're telling people that we have a sick relative we need to help. So that's it? I searched his face for the answers I wanted to hear. You just to leave? Matias sighed and stared up at the sky. It's not like I want to go. They know I want to stay. My father says the front lines are starting to falter. I want you in your book to circle this word falter, and then you're going to give me the definition of that word on canvas. And then you're going to use it in your own sentence. We might have to make a quick exit no matter what. I thought about what he was saying. If things were getting too dangerous for a family of spies, then wait, what about me? It just occurred to Annie that she is also a spy. You? He asked, looking back at me. My stomach felt as if a lead weight had been dropped in it. Yeah, haven't I been compromised? What happens if Guernica falls and Franco's men come in? Won't I be considered a spy? Anyone think of that? Father says no one will care that either of us helped. He even tried telling Mother that. But he did say that he can help get you and your mom out too. I'd never thought about leaving Guernica before. This was my home. It would always be my home. I shook my head. I can't leave. Matias turned towards me, eagerness in his face. But you could go to Madrid with us. You don't even know if that's where you'll go. I thought about telling Mama that we had to move. It would probably be safer to take my chances with Franco's soldiers. Again, I want us to reread that sentence. Look at that sentence. Okay? So she thought about telling her mom about moving, and she thinks it would be safer to take her chances with Franco's soldiers, meaning it'd probably be safer for her to wait for the enemy. What does this sentence reveal about mom? Anyway, if you think your mother was unhappy about you being involved with spies, think of how mine would react. She doesn't believe in getting involved. She'd kill me if she knew. Matias slumped back. I'm so sorry I got you into this. I'm not, I answered, and I meant it. You may not regret it now, but you might later. Nope, never. People were starting to come into the plaza, and the pigeons were already taking their positions, knowing breadcrumbs would soon be thrown their way. We should go start our deliveries. All right, but think about leaving. It might be a good idea, Matias said, standing up and holding out a hand to me. Telling Mama news like this could never be a good idea. As we walked toward my street, Matias pushed a loose rock out of the way with his maquila. Strange to think that these will probably be our final deliveries. I stopped walking. Today? You won't even be here through Monday? Matias shrugged. When my parents say go, it's go. I was suddenly realizing what all this really meant. There'd be no more making a difference, no more extra money, and worst of all, no more friend. Aw, poor Annie, se va a quedar solita. All right, let's look at chapter 24. There has to be something we can do. Come on, think, I commanded as Matias and I walked along the narrow street, each holding one side of the large basket of sardines. There's nothing. Trust me. I've been through this before. He stopped to look at me. I used to argue, but now? He paused. I understand. It's all part of the job. A rotten part, I muttered. Yeah, I just hope we go back to Germany. Now that I know what father really does, I think he'll let me help. Planning to take over the family business? I teased. A gentle wind blowing down the street as we left the last row of businesses and headed toward the wider avenues that led to the rich side of the town. I've got to. People like you and me, we've got to stand up to evil. It's who we are. Mm-hmm. I muttered. The truth was, I'd never thought of standing up to anything or anyone until I met Matias. But why head back to Germany? There's plenty of evil here. Things are bad everywhere. Matthias's face twitched. Yeah, but you have no idea how bad things are getting there. Imagine living in a place that hates you for just being born. I don't think people over there would hate you. Matias stopped abruptly, almost making me lose my grip on the basket. Yes, they do, he said, almost arguing with me. My grandfather was sick last month, and he couldn't even get a doctor to help him because they made it illegal to treat Jews like we were lepers or something. Okay, so this right here makes reference to the Holocaust, and next year, in 8th grade, we're going to talk more about that, okay? That's only a few stupid people, I said, pulling on the basket again so we'd continue walking up the tree-lined path to Senor Beltran's house. You'd be amazed how many people don't care what's happening to us. He shook his head. Jews can't vote anymore, and we're not allowed to have certain businesses. Heck, if we lived in Germany, we probably wouldn't even be friends. You being a Catholic girl and me being Jewish, and you can forget about a girl like you ever growing up to marry someone like me. That's illegal too. Oh my gosh, do you guys think Matias has feelings for Annie? Why would he bring that up? They'd put us in jail for that. And what they've been doing to anyone who speaks out? Matias kept talking, but I was having a hard time concentrating on whatever else he was saying. One word in particular had become lodged in my brain. Oh, what word do you guys think is that? Write it down right there, very lightly, in pencil, in your book, and send me a picture of it. Are you even listening to me? He rolled his eyes. I swear, why do I bother telling you this stuff? He said. I am listening. It's horrible what Hitler is doing over there, but people will come to their senses and things will go back to normal. I paused for a moment. I'd never thought of Matias as anything but a friend. What did you mean about getting married? You mean us? I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to let you guys read the rest of the chapter on your own. Okay? Chapter 25. We didn't mention the end of our deliveries to anyone except Lupe. She didn't seem to care that much about not getting the sardines. It was the idea of not seeing us that really disappointed her. Mondays and Fridays just won't be the same without you, Lupe said, not taking her eyes off the bubbling pot in front of her. Again, demanded Carmita when Matias stopped bouncing on his lap. Caballito otra vez? Matias faked his surprise. How many times are you going to go for a pony ride? Lots and lots, Carmita squealed as Matias bounced her up and down on his knees again. I'll still come by whenever I can. I placed what I knew would be our final envelope on the kitchen table. And maybe I'll come back in the summer to work at the Garza farm. I can. You didn't tell me that, I said, interrupting him. You'd really come back? Matias shrugged. Maybe. He tickled Carmita in the ribs. Will you remember me in a couple of months? Carmita giggled, then bobbed her head up and down. Ani, búscame. Look for me, she commanded, jumping off Matias's lap. She ran over to Lupe and tried to duck behind her mother's long skirt for a game of hide and seek. Ya, Carmita. Lupe pulled her out by the arm. Our friends probably have other places to go. Not before I see them. Padre Iñaki walked into the kitchen and Carmita made a beeline for him. He reached down and picked up the little girl. So, I'm guessing your father already talked to you, he asked Matias. Yes, sir. He said he'd already spoken to everyone and that you'd understand. Of course. Family is hard to deny. I can understand how a sick relative would need help. We'll certainly miss you. He glanced over at me. And what the two of you have been, oh, sorry. And what the two of you have been doing? I gave him a small smile. It was strange not to tell a priest the whole truth, but I guess there was no real way to know who the double agent was. Okay, again, I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to let you finish this chapter on your own. It's just one page on the back, okay?